Hi, I'm Margot Harrison, author of The Library of Fates, and I just learned that my book has been chosen as a Library Reads board bonus pick for December. I am so honored and excited. My book is about a girl who feels very alone growing up, so books become her friends. In college, when she discovers a magic library, she never wants to leave, even though there's a dark secret at the heart of the library's power. I was a lot like my main character growing up. I moved around a lot, and I spent some formative years living way out in the country with no neighbors, internet, or TV. But there was a public library, and every week we stocked up on books, and that was my lifeline. I've continued to move around, and I've experienced all kinds of libraries, both in cities and rural areas. Here in Vermont, where I live, we have a library that literally straddles a national border and is open to people on both sides. We have a library so small that the town recently relocated it on a flatbed truck. I've also worked at giant university libraries. All the creepiest corners of Harvard's Widener Library went into this book. I'll never forget the children's library tucked into the basement of a building where I used to live on Riverside Drive in New York City, or the school library in Indiana where I discovered the Gormenghast series, which was then out of print, and I proceeded to read that book instead of going to prom. The library in the Library of Fates is strictly curated by its strong-willed founder. It represents her ideas about how books guide us through life. But the real libraries I've known were open to all kinds of different stories and viewpoints, and that's part of what I love about them. I've also written for teens, so I've heard a lot about how the right to read freely is being challenged across the country in public as well as school libraries. I dedicated my book to librarians like you who are standing up for that right every day, who are serving your communities in so many ways that go beyond the pages. Thank you so much for this honor, and thank you for everything that you do.